Hello everyone. So I believe it's time for us to do a bit of a non-Path of Exile video. So today is Spire 2. I haven't been playing it for a while actually. No, I was mighty in love with the first one, but the second one they did go a little bit too slow on the main branch, beta branch thingy, right? They haven't been patching main branch for a long time, so yeah, it did get cold, so to speak. Anyway, I want to talk to you about the second major update on the main branch, patch V0.107.1. So the first thing, the first order of things is the RNG. So the thing is, there is the seed, right? And that seed was an alphanumeric key, so to speak, and it was generating whatever they needed, right? But the thing is, someone actually deep dived into this. It was not producing random results, right? So let me just show you. So as you can see, there is an obvious pattern here, which means, for example, when you get underdogs as your first act, that would mean Neo's Bones, Curse, that's a starting bonus, would be that's something that gives you curses, and you know that the number of curses that you can expect is going to be low, right? So that is, of course, some kind of cheating. So they improved their RNG, and this is the new RNG. So you cannot, you cannot do based anything on this. So there is that. Now, so the best here is live-ish. I don't think the moves damages are involved. There are nice some add-ons you might have seen on streamers that show what the next move is gonna be, etc. Right? Very lovely. I think they should implement it in the game. Looking it up constantly is a little bit tiresome. So as you can probably tell from this, the door maker has been retired. He has been retired for some time in the beta branch, but yeah, now he is also retired on the main branch. He has been replaced with Aeon Glass. So since this has happened, I haven't played a lot, right? I have seen him a few times, the boss. I don't know too much about him. Yeah, the Infested Prism has been reworked. The Infested Prism is the floating triangle thingy that is an Act 2 elite. When you hit it, it gives you energy for the first time. Yeah, so now some new badges are here. I don't think, that is not of no interest to me until achievements get released. The best cheer is available. Terminal run modifier can no longer bring a player below 1 HP. Okay, there are 3 new starter starting bonuses from Niao. Kaleidoscope, upon pickup, gain 2 card rewards with cards from other characters. Nice. Fishing rod, every 3 normal combats upgrade a random card in your deck. So guys, 3 normal combats means, regular fights, right? The elites and the bosses do not count for this. This is not bad. Enchant all cards in the first card reward with Glam. Glam means they gain replay 1 the first time they are played, I think. So that is powerful, but as you can see, upon pickup, lose all gold. I don't think that's worth it. So guys, the first reward will have replay 1 the first time you play it, and in return you lose all of your gold, and also obviously you spend your starting bonus on this. I don't think that's enough. Kaleidoscope and Fishing Rod are fine though. Teskatara's Pumpkin Candle Relic, that's the energy relic that works for Act 2 only. Very garbage. So you finish Act 1, you see Teskatara, the pumpkin guy, right? And one of the options that he presents to you is gain initial energy each turn, but extinguishes at the beginning of Act 3. Now, it lasts for 5 combats, but it can be reignited at rest sites. So, for example, you do 5 fights, right? And then you go into a rest site, and you can use that rest site to rekindle, right? And that also, of course, makes the camp tent or whatever it's called. You know, the shop relic that allows you to use all of the rest site options at once. Every single rest site that makes it very much more powerful. You know, scroll boxes, I believe that gives you cards. I don't remember it exactly. No longer makes player lose all gold. I mean, that's pretty good, right? I mean, not losing 99 gold is pretty good. That's a starting bonus. Niao's Booming Conch, that is the worst starter relic. That used to be the worst starter relic. So that is the draw an additional card at the beginning of Elite Fights. Draw 2 additional cards at the beginning of Elite Fights, I think. Yeah, it was terrible, I would say. I mean, a bag of preparation that works in Elite Fights only. So the thing is, Niao's bonus should be equal to, you know, 1, I would say, common relic. At the very least, this is below a common relic and it was not worth it. Now, it gives you 2 extra cards and also 1 energy for the first turn. So bag of prep plus lantern, both combined for Elite Fights only, right? That is pretty good, right? And you can, of course, do your pathing based on this. Now I think it's fine. Niao's Fury, I remember this one that, you know, deals decent damage and gets 2 random cards from your discard pile to your hand. Now it allows you to pick which cards you return. That's not bad, right? That is not bad at all. You know, targeted returning and up to 2 is pretty good. Tezcatara's Nutritious Soup, that's the one that makes relics strikes cost 0 and gives them eternal. Now also makes them deal 3 additional damage. You know, I did pick this a few times, especially of course with strike dummy. It's pretty good. I do like it, right? 9 damage, 0 cost cards. Yeah, and eternal prevents you from getting rid of them. Tezcatara's Seal of Gold, that is the relic that gives you energy every single turn, but makes you spend 5 gold every time it procs. So now that's moved to option 3 and shares a pool with the pumpkin candle. So in case you didn't know, the bonuses from each ancient have pools, right? Option 1 has a pool, option 2 has a pool, option 3 has a pool. So that means you cannot have both of them at the same time if they belong to the same pool. Pale's Eye. Pale's Eye is the relic that allows you, if you did nothing, you can get an extra turn by exhausting your hand. I mean, you start your turn, the situation looks bad, you just end your turn, all of your hand exhaust, you get a new hand, and you take an extra turn. And that does... It used to decrease vulnerable, weak, that sort of stuff, right? Now none of them decrease. So for example, if the enemy has vulnerable, weak, frail, whatever it is, I don't think we can give frail to the enemy, but no. Theoretically, whatever the enemy has, they will not decrease. So for example, let's say the enemy has vulnerable 1, you took your extra turn, now they have no vulnerable and you are in a bad position. That's not going to happen anymore. Act 3 boss Doormaker has been replaced with Aeon Glass. Okay. Yeah. So it has been on the beta for some time, so it should be relatively balanced in the main branch. Reworked Infested Prism, I don't know this at all. I guess I haven't been following this for some time. Yeah. I remember this one. You know, the Axe-bots, there are 2 Axe-bots, you kill one of them, another one comes, and you kill that one, the another one comes, and they replace each twice, and then you basically kill like 6 of them, and the fight ends. Now there is only a single Axe-bot that is more challenging. Skulking Colony has been changed for the 5th millionth time. The numbers that you see in the parentheses are for Ascension 8, 9, right? Why did I say 8, 9? 8 increases the HPs and 9 increases the damage. So if you are looking at the numbers in the parentheses, that means the HP is going to increase to... so it was 70 and 75 on high Ascension. Now it's 75 on lower Ascensions and 80 on high Ascension. That's what it means. The same thing goes for damages, but instead of Ascension 8, it will be Ascension 9. But if you are playing on Ascension 10, you always have to take a look at the numbers in the parentheses. And what they have been doing is, you will see the game is becoming a little bit easier on non-Ascension and low Ascensions, and it's becoming harder on higher Ascensions. Hardness shall increase from 15 to 20. That is the amount of damage cap for the Skulking Colony. So it can still be killed in 4 turns in high Ascension. Used to be 5 turns. Now it can be killed in 4 turns. That's pretty good. Smash move removed. Now uses on turns 1 and 2. Yeah, that's the nuking ability. I think no longer gains block. That's nice. And on high Ascensions now gains an additional point of strength when it gains strength on high Ascensions. That means Ascension 9. Haunted ship, I mean, that's the ship, right? Now applies 3 weak on turn 1 instead of when it attacks. Ramming speed move removed. Now alternates between swipe and stomp. Okay, so it haunts you, then swipe and stomp, swipe and stomp, and swipe and stomp. Okay. Punch construct. Yeah, that is also an easy to remember enemy. You know, the guy that stays like this and punches you in the face. Fast punch now leads into strong punch instead of the reverse. Ready now leads into fast punch, and it applies frail instead of weak. Okay, so the first one he becomes ready. Now after that he becomes fast punch and then does strong punch. But the problem now becomes, so this is a little bit, it gives you more prep time. However, because he applies frail with his fast punch on the turn where he does the strong punch, I believe that like 16 damage, it will be hard to defend against. Also, some enemies' HPs were lowered on lower Ascensions, like I told you, and increased on higher Ascensions. So the scrolls of biting from Act 3, you know, the books that decrease your max HP when they hit you, their range was from 31 to 38 on lower Ascensions and 32 to 39. Now they are 30 to 37. So basically 1 HP reduced on average on lower Ascensions, and 1 HP, half an HP increased by on high Ascensions, right? Because if you take the average in the of the numbers in the parentheses, that increased by half, right? The max has been unchanged. The minimum has been increased by 1. All Magistrate, that's also an easy to remember enemy. Act 3 enemy, you know, the big old fella, he soars, he hits very hard. Now the HP has been reduced by 3 on lower Ascensions, and it has been increased by 4 on high Ascensions. Yeah. Slime Berserker, that's the guy that gives you 10 days. Yeah, I mean, I can remember the enemy surprisingly well for someone who has not played in quite some time. So the HP was reduced by 5 on lower Ascension and increased by 5 on high Ascension. That could be actually a little bit challenging because, you know, sometimes he is pretty tough to kill. Maybe that 5 HP will give him an additional turn to, you know, do you harm. Soulfish, that's the Act 1 boss, you know, the fish that becomes intangible. So the damage has been increased by 2 on lower Ascensions and 3 on higher Ascensions. That's actually somewhat dangerous. That's the one after intangible, I think. I'm not very sure about that. Ruby Raider Assassin, that's the trio of assassin fellas. That happens in the overgrowth version of Act 1. Yeah. So damage has been decreased by 1 on both higher and lower Ascensions. Okay. Phantom has been nerfed at lower. Phantom is the tail guy, right? He lifts his tail up and then bang, slaps you. Waterfall Giant has been nerfed. That's the Act 1 boss. You know, the guy that explodes when you kill him. So on lower Ascension, the HP, the heal that he does has been reduced to 10. On higher Ascensions, there is no change, as you can see from here. Events change. Slippery Bridge event. This is the event that removes a card and you can pay a little bit life to, you know, change the thing. It did something very infuriating when it did. So it could offer the same stupid card over and over, right? And you don't want to remove, so you would pay extra life. Now it just goes through your entire deck once. before offering the same card again, right? So for example, it says shrug it off. You don't want to remove shrug it off. You press it. It offers you, I don't know, uppercut. Then you press it again, and then it cannot offer you shrug it off again, right? It has to offer something else that it hasn't offered yet. That's of course a very minor buff. Something special now happens if you have multiple lantern key cards. Okay, I don't think I will ever get that. Buffed in air quotes, the boot relic. So if you are playing Necrominder, the damage that Oste deals has also increases, right? The boot increases the damage that you deal to 5 if you are dealing less damage than 5. So for example, if you are going to deal 3 damage with Oste, now Oste is going to deal 5 damage. Gold Axe card has been buffed. In multiplayer, I just will not read the rest. Yeah. In my eyes, just multiplayer just doesn't exist. Yeah. I mean, when they put the achievements, if there are multiplayer achievements, then I will do them. But that's it. Because guys, this is a game that's very hard to balance. And if you balance it multiplayer, it's not going to be balanced in single player. And this is obviously single player focused. And if you balance it in single player, it will not be balanced in multiplayer. So guys, I'm not saying anything about too easy, too hard, but it will not be balanced, right? I am sure of it. And you know, this is going to sound a little bit stupid, but I can tell you this much without having ever played multiplayer, right? I have never played it once. So yeah, but I am very certain of my opinion, yeah. Fasten card has been nerfed. Fasten is the card that gives you more block from your defend cards. So it has been reduced by 1 on both the normal and the upgrade. Yeah. Configuration has been changed. Was 8 AoE damage plus 2 per other attack played this turn. Now it deals 2 damage to all enemies 4 times. So the overall damage has been actually decreased, right? Because it was 8 always. Now it is going to be 8 again, but it could be 10 or whatever it is, right? Higher. So yeah. But of course, you know, if you have strength, it's gonna be pretty nice. Because the thing is, guys, this was also unconditional 8 AoE damage, right? This is also 8 AoE damage. So, and you know, it could go higher, but this one cannot go higher, right? The only way that this goes higher is when it gets upgraded. And the thing is, if you upgrade this one, this is 9 plus 3 per attack play this turn. So yeah, not a huge buff, definitely. I don't think it's going to be a very popular rare. Drum of Battle card that killed me once on Ascension 8 once, yeah. This is the card that's a power that draws you cards, but at the beginning of each turn, it exhausts the top card of your deck. Now it's an uncommon skill that draws 2 cards and grants 2 or 3 energy when exhausted. Tau from Beyond has been buffed. Tau from Beyond is the Ironclad attack, 3-cost Ironclad attack that plays itself from the discard exhaust pile. Now it triggers at the end of turn, right? And if you think this is not a buff, it is a buff, because imagine you play Burning Pact, you exhaust it, bang, at the end of turn it will play, right? That's actually a big change. So, you know, you get immediate return, right? Not literally immediate, but you know, almost immediate. And Trench has been buffed. Now can gain extra block from enchantments like Nimble. Okay. So, you know, I am hard pressed to say that this is a buff, but yeah, I mean, a very minor buff. A minor buff, maybe, yeah. Unrelenting has been buffed. Damage increase from 1218 to 1420. Oh, that's a lot. Both the unupgraded and upgraded form gets buffed by 2 damage. That's actually quite a bit, yeah. Sorry. Find it. Sorry. That's the card that makes, okay, that I did remember the right card. I just didn't want to say anything wrong. So this is the card that costs 2 and makes the next attack that you play cost 0. I mean, 2 damage upgrade is actually pretty solid. Yeah. Silent. Reworked and renamed follow through cards into Scare. Now it's an uncommon instead of a common, and of course that means some uncommon is gonna be a common. Nightmare card, if you can select a card with an affliction on it, the copies that it adds next turn will not have those afflictions. Okay. Predator has been made from an uncommon into a common. Untouchable, that card received nerfs twice or thrice. Now, so this is the 2-cost card that gives you block and has Sly, right? Gets played when it gets discarded. I believe it gives 5 block normally and 8 block when it's upgraded, I think, with the buff. Something like that. Pounce has been buffed. Again, we have the same thing. That's the card that makes your next skill played cost 0, something like that. Again, a serious buff. Blade of Ink, that card has been reworked in the past and was giving you sheaves with damage enhancements on them. And the damage enchantment now is 1 instead of 2. For Regent, yeah, that is the worst class. That was the worst class for a very long time. Now they are still getting buffs, but there are also some things. Let's take a look at the Parry. That has been the worst card in the game. That gives you block when you play the Sovereign Blade. Now instead of giving you block when you play Sovereign Blade, now it adds Sovereign Blade, gives you block to its text. What is the difference? The difference is if you get replay on your Sovereign Blade, that means you are going to get blocked twice. Why? Because guys, if it says when you play Sovereign Blade gain 10 block, that means you play Sovereign Blade, even if it plays, you didn't play it twice, so you will gain block only once. Now it's gonna gain block twice if you have replay. Yeah, and obviously there is something to go with this. Sword Sage, a rare power. It gives Sovereign Blade replay 1 now instead of hits an additional time. That means it will synergize with Parry. So if you have Parry and Sword Sage, if you have an unupgraded Parry, you are going to gain 20 block now when you play the Sovereign Blade. And if you have an upgraded Parry, you are going to gain 28 block. Astral Pulse has been nerfed. Why does it say change? That's a nerf. So guys, 14, 18, right? Now 6 times 2 and 8 times 2. That is a nerf. Because imagine guys, even if I have a strength that will hit for 7 times 2 and this will hit for 15, still doesn't catch up, right? You need to have 2 strength for it to deal the same amount of damage. I mean, there are situations in which multiple hits can benefit you, like Phantom, right? Or the small Phantoms, right? There are some stuff that, you know, multiple hits benefit you, but that is when you are dealing the same amount of damage. Normally, the main metric is the damage, right? This is a nerf. They shouldn't say change here. That's a nerf. Tyranny card has been changed. So that is actually not the Tyranny card only. That's a very special interaction between 2 rares. So Tyranny says at the beginning of your turn, exhaust a card and draw a card. And there is a rare called Bombardment. That is like 15 AoE for 3. And it plays from your exhaust pile. So the idea is if you have Tyranny and Bombardment, you exhaust Bombardment and now it gets immediately played. I mean, that's very hard to bring together, right? 2 rares, but yeah, now they are very good, right? So for example, guys, you have 5 cards, you draw your card, you have 5 cards, you exhaust your Bombardment, you draw your card, and the Bombardment gets immediately played. Beautiful. Seal Throne, that is an ancient reward that says something like when you play a card, you gain 1 star. So it's upgraded now. It doesn't give it innate, but lowers the energy cost by 1. I believe it costed 1, so it's going to cost 0. So it's going to cost 0 and not become innate. Crescent Spear has been buffed. That is huge, by the way. Crescent Spear is the card that gets 2 additional damage per star card in your deck. And the thing is, it does itself cost 1 star, so this means this card is gonna do 10 damage no matter what, right? 8 damage base plus 2 per star card. It itself is a star. Actually, let me correct myself. It's gonna be dealing 12 damage, right? Because we also have the thing, the falling star, whatever it was called, and the starter card that's also cost stars. So one costs 12 damage without any conditions, right? That's the beginning. If you have any additional star cards, the damage is gonna increase. This is pretty good. Royalties has been buffed. That's the power that gives you gold at the end of fights. I mean, the base form has not been touched. The upgraded form now gives you 5 more gold. No big deal. Furnace has been buffed. That is the card, that is the power that gives you Forge every turn. So the Forge has been increased by 1 across the non-upgraded and upgraded form. Monarch's Gaze. That's actually pretty good. That's the strength reducing one, or okay, that's the power. I'm sorry, I confused it with Mangle. That's a 3-cost power. When you play it, whenever you attack an enemy, they lose 1 strength for that turn. So that used to cost 3, and when it was upgraded, it used to cost 2. Sorry, now it's costing 2, and it's gonna cost 1 when it gets upgraded. That's pretty serious. Reflect has been nerfed for the second time, I think. Yeah, Reflect is just an insane card. Yeah, very well deserved. So that is the card that gives you 17 block for 1 and 3 stars and reflects all the damage that they deal to you. It's insane. Right now, the unupgraded version has lost 2 block and the upgraded version has 1 block. It's still insane. Let me tell you. Bulwark has been nerfed. That's the card that gives you a lot of block and gives you Forge. The block has been reduced by 1 in all modes. Patter. So if you can find that video, take a look, right? In the video where they buffed Patter, I told you guys that Patter didn't actually need a buff. They were a little bit desperate to make Regent playable. So what they did was they unnecessarily buffed cards that were already strong enough, right? And I specifically said this for Patter, and now they reverted, right? Instead of giving you 9, 11 block, now it gives 8, 10 block. That was its old form, right? It also gives you like 2 vigor, I think. Yeah. Minion sacrifice card has been nerfed. The block has been reduced by 1. Let's go to Necrobinder. Death March. Let me just check it. Is it the card that's created card or soul? Oh, okay. Death March is the card that deals 8 damage plus 3 damage for each card drawn during your turn. The 5 that is at the beginning of your turn doesn't count. So this is a bit of a soul synergy, but also, of course, obviously, you can utilize other card draw mechanics. So now, instead of 8 plus 3 plus 4, now it's 8 plus 4 plus 6. So what I mean by that is now it's going to deal 4 damage per additional drawn card, and when it's upgraded, it's going to deal 6 per additional card drawn, which is pretty good. You know, a single soul will allow you to deal 20 damage for 1, which is insane. Yeah, very nice. Sikkim has been buffed. That deals some minor damage and also used to summon, I think. Yeah. Osti deals 5 damage. And whenever Osti hits the enemy this turn, summon 2. Now the summon has been increased by 1 on all modes. Scythe, that's the 2-cost rare that scales its damage, I think. The scaling has been increased by 1. Debilitate has been nerfed. Why? Okay, Debilitate, I believe, is the card that doubles the potency of weak and vulnerable effects. And instead of doubling the weak and vulnerable for 3 to 4 turns, now it does 2 to 3 turns. Okay. They had some very ridiculous changes on defect in the beta branch. Let's see if they corrected that. Fusion has been buffed. Instead of costing 2 and 1 on upgrade, Now it costs 1 and exhaust, and if you upgrade it, it loses the exhaust on upgrade. So if you have upgraded it, it's going to be the same as old, but if it's not upgraded, it's going to be better because, you know, it's going to cost 1 and exhaust instead of costing 2. Okay. Shatter card. Oh my good lord. Oh yeah, I remember this. This was laughable. Shatter. That's a 1 cost rare that deals AoE damage, right? And evokes all of your orbs twice. It's absolutely insane. Yeah. The damage has been nerfed by 4. That when they buffed it, we didn't have the damage nerf on it. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. Tesla Coil Plus. Yeah, so Tesla Coil this deals some minor damage, and lightning triggers. It also triggered lightning. Now the damage is a little bit less, but the lightning triggers twice. Hyper Beam has been buffed. Hyper Beam is the massive AoE card that costs 2, deals a ton of damage, but makes you lose focus. Now damage has been increased by 2. This is an extremely good card for getting through Act 1, guys. So what do? You play it normally, right? You use your orbs, but at the end, when you are finishing it, bang, right? Do it immediately, right? Synthesis has been buffed. That's the card that makes the next power played. Yeah, so it's a theme. They did the same on Ironclad and Silent as well. The damage has been buffed by 2. The next power that gets played, it costs 0. Uproar has been buffed by 1 damage. That is the card that plays a random attack from your deck. You get multiple uproars and they play themselves, and you know, maybe expensive attacks like Glass Cannon? Wasn't Glass Cannon. Glass something. Glass Lance, maybe? The 3 cost attack? Yeah. Ice Lance, maybe? Could it be? It is Ice Lance. Yeah, Ice Lance. That's what I meant. Okay. Infuse Core, that is ridiculous. Infuse Core is the starter relic. So the starter relics makes Lightning Orb deal 1 additional damage. I don't understand the reason for this. So now Lightning Orbs deal 4 at the end of your turn, and when they are evoked, they deal 9. Absolutely insane. This was something else. This was even worse. Now they have balanced it a little bit more. Okay. Multiplayer scaling. I'm not gonna get into it. Multiplayer. No. I don't care. I not only I don't care, I also don't know anything, so I'm not gonna comment on it. During the Gremlin Merc fight, if the Gremlin Merc didn't steal any gold, but Fat Gremlin escaped, you now receive 50% of your gold back instead of none. Okay, thank you. User interface. Okay, these are not really very important. Pale's flesh now visually increase the max energy on in your account. Okay, that's nice. You know, I was actually a little bit annoyed by this. When Waku tells you how many times you visited, the number is now accurate. Yeah, he was lying, right? You have been here 82 times. The demon fella. Skulking Colony's health bar now changes color to indicate it cannot take more damage this turn. That's nice. Okay. A lot of art was added. Some animations have been added and updated. Nice. Some music and audio effects. Okay. Lots of bug fixes. It's actually a pretty big one. Such a big patch. Okay. Not gonna comment on this. Okay. Some annoying bugs have been fixed. Nice. Yeah. That is about it. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye bye.